Hello and welcome to Happy Foot Sad Foot, your LAFC gateway drug. This is your post-game show. I'm Darren Miller.
I'm Vince LaRosa. I'm smiling heavily, Darren, because you sighed really hard right when the music was ending, and it was like just perfect.
A lot of complicated emotions going into this one, guys. This was what will probably go down as one of the most important moments in the history of this club. Was the debut of Heung-min Son in Chicago, of all places, a place that we have played twice before, a stadium we've probably never played in. A very exciting 2-2 tie, a very exciting debut on the pitch from Son. What do you think, Vince? I have a hard time feeling like I feel both disappointed that we couldn't get the 3 points. It felt like it was there for us, but it's hard to feel down with what seems like a very bright future as of today.
I think all said and told, you're probably happy with that point, having gone down twice in the match away from home to get a point. Where you're not happy is, of course, when you have games in hand, you need to be winning, and LAFC needs to be winning. You're right. They did have moments where they could have won this game. I think this game is very strange because obviously there's something heavily overshadowing this game, which is the debut of Son Heung-min. And so that will be as you said, I think you're right, Darren. It's actually so funny to say like a 2-2 draw, and not in Chicago proper, but in Bridgeview, Illinois, will go down as one of the biggest moments in LAFC history. And you're right. But beyond that, like the game itself, I'm not sure how much you can take from it. Like there wasn't a lot where I was like, I can see what they're doing. Both teams were kind of evenly matched. It really was a game that came down to moments. I think you look at that game, and especially you look at what led to the tying goal. Hugo makes a huge save. They hit the post. They immediately go down the other side of the field. Son wins a penalty.
Incredible exchange there.
Right, which we can talk more about, like, Son's presence there, his ability there, his speed there. I mean, a lot to like, right? But I really just look at this game and think about that. There's that. There's the Ordaz chance. There's the Tillman chance. Like, it really just came down to moments. I think that if LAFC is a little sharper in their moments, they win the game. Same could probably be said for Chicago, though, right? Like, if they finish off that chance, it's 3-1. I don't think we're talking about this at all. We have much different tenor to this post game. So I think that's the two big things. Obviously, the debut of Sonny and moments decided this game. Luckily, LAFC, evened out the moments though. And I will say again, I think a point in the circumstances you would normally be pretty happy with, while we're not, is because of the games in hand. But you can't play your games in hand. You can't play a game knowing that you play the game. You play the game in front of you. And the game in front of them, they went down twice. They came back twice. They possibly had chances to take all 3 points. I would be generally happy with that, although obviously there's a lot to work on. And we can talk as we kind of go through this post game. There's a few things that I was less excited about that I think aren't big things, because it's not something we've seen all year. But if I'm just looking at this game as the game, there was a couple of things where I was like, this could have been a lot better.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with you. I feel like my big thing in my sad foot column is just that, like, they were just simply better at capitalizing on the chances they had than we were. And their 2 goals were like
bangers, not exactly.
We should break down, maybe later in the show, we should break down like what got them the shots that they ended up with. But those were kind of incredible goals, both of them.
Yeah, really strong header on the set piece, and then to roof it from that angle, like that's not a high percentage shot.
Yeah, I guess my question on that, we could just cut to the chase. My question on that would have been like, I was a little bit skeptical of the angle that Tafari gave him, and maybe it's just like, well, he shouldn't be able to score from that angle, and maybe that's just the answer. And on the corner, it's like, wow, it didn't seem that poor. I don't know.
Yeah. The corner, you lose a 1v1 battle.
Off
Jesus,
the post and in. I
yeah,
mean,
Jesus on Tehran is not the best matchup for LAFC. I would say just up top. Obviously, he's a big dude, center back. Jesus is, I mean, he's a battler, but he lost that battle. But to your point, Darren, that's still a stellar header. It wasn't like the dude just had to knot it down from a couple feet. He had to bury that header and hit it.
far post, curving out, off the post. I
Yeah.
mean, like, Lloris put in
Swinger.
like an incredible dive at it too, and still couldn't get to it.
Yeah, an outswinger that he puts out of the reach. The second goal, and I'll talk about Tafari first, and then it'll actually lead me into my sad foot. The second goal, Tafari, doesn't give him the best angle, but keep in mind he had to switch over from his side of the field to try to track that down because Eddie Segura was slightly out of the play.
It seemed like our defense, not that they were all game, but it seemed like our defense was a little lax and confused in that moment.
Yeah, I mean,
they caught us.
The bigger thing for me, the one that can be righted, and the thing that I not worry more about, but just like was more frustrating was I thought the midfield this game in terms of their defensive responsibilities and their ability to shield the back line were not good. They didn't control the game at all. I thought in the first half, Schwanier was out of it, especially defensively, didn't seem to be switched on. A lot of moments were coming through kind of that channel on his side. And then, in the second half, that, the midfield doesn't track down Gutierrez, who's a good player, had a good game, but they don't track him down. That means that Segura has to activate to try to stop a ball into, I was saying his name all game and now I can't say it. Zigan. What a great name. I wish I could say it. What a great name.
Zinfandel Finkel.
Zinfandel, yeah. Classic Zinfandel.
Zinkernagel.
Zingernagel. Right. Zinkernagel. Yeah. What a name. But so Segura activates, he can't win the ball. That opens up a space in which Bamba falls into, and then you just have a merry-go-round at that point. You have guys just trying to fill in for other guys that are filling for other guys. Yep. But really, I thought it was the midfield that was the initial part of the problem. The secondary problem was, man, we could not tackle this game. Could someone put in a fucking tackle? Like, just put in a tackle, win the ball cleanly, and get it out of there. There was it, and the field was to some of it. Like, it definitely was the footing.
There's a lot of slipping. Instances.
Yeah, but I don't want to absolve the defenders fully of this. They really could not tackle this game. And those were my sad feet in terms of LAFC. They just never looked. And I think the midfield is what does this a lot for you. They just did not control the game on both sides of the ball, and LAFC struggled through the middle. And I think that's where Chicago got the most joy, was in between that, those gaps in between the midfield and our center backs. And you're asking a lot of your center backs, and I think that Tafari and Segura are very good center backs. I don't think they're elite center backs. If you're asking that much of them, you better have Virgil van Dijk and, another elite center back there. That's just, it was too much for these guys today. And I'm not like taking away from this, because the midfield has been good, right? But that was just a stinker of a performance for them.
I think to your point that there was a moment, sort of like 15, 16 minutes, like not even halfway through the first half, where there was like a concentrated few minutes where the midfield did a really good job of creating a bunch of turnovers kind of in a row in a way that was concentrated, and ended up just highlighting the lack of that for the rest of the game. It was just like, oh, if it's that clear of a moment that is highlighted and separate from everything else, it's really weird that it's just like, and now where is that for the other, what ended up being 94 minutes that they could have been doing things like that. It's just one of those things where sometimes when you notice something good, it's like, oh, it's not about the good thing I noticed. It's about the fact that I noticed it so easily and it stood out like a sore thumb.
Yeah.
And it shouldn't. That should just be what they're doing all the time. But yeah, obviously Happy Foot should lead with Son. I had nothing but high expectations and hopes. I knew it was going to be amazing, but to have someone barely train with the team and come off the bench like that, and not just like in the 83rd minute, like he put in a shift and had like a big handful of very good chances, created a few chances. I mean, I just am so excited that this is going to be what we're going to be able to see game after game now. I just can't say enough good things about Son. That's what I expected to be saying in this post game, but I truly can't say enough good things about him.
It's not fair to compare him and Olivier Giroud because they are such different players. But unfortunately, the way that this league works is we have to, because they filled a spot that was so important for LAFC. And it was so refreshing to see a designated player that wasn't just waiting for moments to enact themselves on the game, but was actively finding the ball, actively pressing against the ball. He's obviously, again, it's not fair to compare them so much because he is so mobile. He has so much. He has so much more pace. He has so much more ability to cover the field. He's obviously a better dribbler. Like, he does a lot of things where like he's expected to be active around the ball, but we didn't know what to expect. I think he's going to be very good because he's been an incredible player for a long time, but he's literally known his teammates for like 48 hours.
Yeah,
I think it's fair.
We're all prepared to give him more grace than he took.
And
it's his first match. He could have eased into it any way he wanted, but not only was his skill so on point, his passion was there. Like, you could be like, okay, let's figure this out. Let's get my bearings. Like, I'm glad I'm getting these minutes in. That's what we're going to take away. But he was frustrated with the fact that everyone else is playing at an MLS level around him. He was frustrated when things didn't go right. I mean, he was really into it. He was frustrated when a chance didn't go our way from the sidelines before we even got into the match. He's just like bought in immediately. So I think really what that highlights to me is just our responsibility as a club, the players, the organization, and the fans to like do right by that and put him in a position to be able to succeed the way that he's sort of like taking that responsibility on. I mean, it is night and day with Giroud. Giroud was like, yeah, let me get my bearings. And then that just kept going forever.
But it was just the type of player he is, right? He's the guy that gets on the end of the pass. Obviously, Son plays in a way where he's going to be instrumental. The pass before the pass, he's going to progress the ball. He's very much like a Boanga type player, obviously at a higher level, right? It's just going to be really refreshing to see a designated player that is going to be so actively involved, not just because he wants to be, but because his profile and the way in which he plays, he has to be. That's how he has to play the game. Whereas Giroud, look, we can make jokes, we can say what we want about him. I guarantee you he was bought in. He wanted to be here, wanted to win. There was passion at times, but that's just the way he plays the game. Is he's like, well, I'm the guy that scores the goals. I need to be close to the goal. Son is a different player. He's going to get himself involved in every aspect of the game.
He's going to make shit happen.
And that's where it's not fair to compare, but I will say, damn, it's nice to watch and just see your designated player in and around the ball almost every chance they get. Whereas we watched Giroud for ages basically wait his turn and wait for LAFC to move the ball and wait for them to get into a position in which he could affect the game. It's not going to be like that with Son. And to your point, I was going to give him a break. He could have slept walk through that game, and I've been like, that's okay.
I've been fine.
I've been
okay. Like, great, we'll see him. Yeah,
but he
got his minutes in.
Yeah.
And I should say, for people who may be watching who are just Son fans or new fans or what have you, it's going to your point, Vince, it's going to sound weird that we're comparing him to Giroud. Like, they're not comparable players per se. People should know that, like, we're scarred from the last experiment that did not work out, not in terms of who the player is, but in terms of what role they were filling for the squad. So just to explain that out loud, I think there is I do sense a sort of like hesitancy and fear from the fan base. That's like, I don't want to get burned again, as irrational as that seems with a player like Son.
Let me give my happy foot. I was gonna let you have Son. I'll give mine, and then we'll do super chats and then get some callers.
Thank you so much. I mean, I'm the casual. I gotta have it. I'll just take it for the rest of the season if that's cool.
Oh yeah, I mean, just a blanket happy foot. He probably will be. I mean, look, we're trying. I think we're trying to like keep it because like we tied a game. He just played like limited minutes, but I hope you guys can tell like we are very excited. We just don't want to like overplay our hand here. Like, he's going to be very good. I can't wait to see him in person. This was the absolute best player LAFC could bring in for a myriad of reasons. And then he came into the game and literally smashed it. Like, yes, he could have scored goals, but the move that he made to cut across both those defenders to create that penalty, the runs that he made, the pace that he had, like, I loved it. But I will be a little hipstery and give like a different happy foot so that I can be like, oh, look, I watched the game a little bit more than you. Actually, I just have to do this because I have to give someone due. I thought Nathan Ordaz, he misses that chance in the first half and was a passenger in the first half. Totally different player in the second half. Definitely was involved. He was the one that helps break out a lot of those counterattacks. And that was what I'm asking of him sometimes. Like, I know he's not perfect. I know he's still a work in progress. And I know that he may never be an elite forward, but at least get in the game, get involved. And I thought he was hiding throughout moments of the first half. I mean, that 1v1, I've never seen a player less confident, a forward less confident 1v1 on a breakaway, right? Like, he was like, is this guy going to catch up to me? Oh, wait, where's the goalkeeper? He still gets off a decent shot, but you would like a guy to just go and just kill it.
You got to score.
You got to score, right?
Yeah,
but
you just got to find a way.
I'll give him that, but then he just kind of hidden throughout the game. But then the second half, he was integral to almost everything. He was, that front three changed when Bouanga came in. No offense to Tim Tillman, who I think did an okay job as this weird kind of midfield nine. But the game changed. Yeah. David Martinez didn't even have a bad game. It was a weird lineup, right? For whatever reason. But Ordaz, second half, picked up his game and he affected the game for LAFC in all the right ways. So I have to put him as my happy foot because I thought that when Bouanga was coming in, I thought he was going to be the sub, and he was not. And good for him to take that opportunity, and he was good.
I'll also throw out there, we got a bunch of super chats and callers waiting, but I'll throw out there the flip side of that is I also thought that Martinez had he had an up and down game, but he still hung in there and was good. And it's not only, I think in the preview episode I mentioned, I was really excited about Smolyakov taking set pieces and corners, and he confirmed that in this game, but Martinez is now in the mix, putting great crosses in. Mm-hmm. If he continues to set plays up like that, especially with Son joining, I don't know. It's just like I feel like every time we see a lot of both Martinez and Ordaz in a game, the reaction is always like, it's really interesting to see which of these two guys wins out.
Well, you have to know that if you are Ordaz or you're Martinez and you win the right to be on the field with Bouanga and Son, guess where the defense's attention is going to be? It's going to be on Bouanga and Son. So how can you, with the space that's created by those two, still affect the game and be a part of the game? Like, you're going to have a lot more time than you did when it was, Giroud, Bouanga, and you, or, whatever else the front three combination was. So I think you got to take advantage of it. And because again, you're going to just have that extra time and space. All these guys, and we talk about this, what you may think about any of these players front to back, like they're garbage, whatever. Don't forget there is another team on the field, and these players, if you do give them time and space, most of them are pretty good. Like, they are the best players that they have been their entire lives for whatever team they played for until they've got to professional level. So I have faith in them that if they get a little bit more time and space than they're used to, that they will make things happen. And Ordaz was a perfect example of that. I would like to see that continuing to go forward from both him and David Martinez. Again, whoever is on the field when Son and Bouanga is on the field, you are going to have opportunities to affect the game, and you're going to have the space to do it.
Yeah. All right. Let's get into some super chats. Thank you so much for all the support, guys. Mikey with a super chat. He says, great start to the Sonny LAFC era. Are we back? It's been almost 25 minutes into the show. We haven't asked it. I think we've been back since Tuesday.
Yeah. I think there's a bit of a halo effect from that signing. So yeah, I would say we're back.
It's back based on potential. We're back based on projections.
Yes.
Projections moving forward show that we are back.
For me, it's always vibes, and the vibes right now,
the vibes
still
are
awesome.
Very good. Yes, the results. It would be nice for the results to match the vibes. Francisco, thank you so much for the super chat. He says, "Yeah, what's up, my peeps? With all due respect, Segura and Tafari are bench players on most teams. We needed another cornerback bad.
Center back. What
Sorry,
football are you
quarterback.
watching?
Center back bad. I was busy. I glossed right over CB and was just counting the A's. We're looking at 5 A's in bad.
Yeah. Agree to disagree.
Yeah.
I don't think
Okay.
I don't look, they weren't first choice for LAFC. So to your point, yes, they're filling in for injured guys, and they have brought in Porteous, who I think they're high on. We'll see.
They are bench players on this team. Technically.
More or less. I mean, I like the potential Tafari, and I think Segura has played his way into a starting spot. I think he's been very good this year. I don't think that that's fair to slander him in that way. Did they have a great game? No. But as I said in the top, I really thought the midfield did them no favors, did not protect those center backs, and they had a lot to do, and they did the best that they could. But yeah, could you upgrade there? Yeah, I think so. And I think they went out and got Ryan Porteous. So I think LAFC agrees with you, Francisco. So there you
go. We have a few more super chats. Let's get to, we've got callers waiting. Daniel, thank you so much for waiting. Thanks for being patient. Welcome back to the show. It's been a while.
Mm-hmm.
What's going on? How are you doing? Are you happy foots or sad foots that we left for you?
First off, shout out to, I hope I'm pronouncing his last name right. Jason Kenzira. Thank you for the pizza. Chicago was amazing. Off to the soccer. Happy foot, obviously. Look, would have been nice to get all 3 points, sure, but this season's a lame duck season, and all I wanted to see was how Son was on the field today. He is an obvious happy foot. The rest of the season is going to be like preparing and gathering momentum for next year, and Son already looks amazing on the field. I think what I most impressed is that, like, the energy he brings onto the pitch. I think he needs to get the captain's armband right away. I mean, it's kind of like, maybe it's too soon. Maybe we should ask the other players, but from the looks of it, dude needs to be the leader of this team de facto wise.
Can I ask you why? Because, like, and I don't mean that to say like you're wrong. I'm asking you why. Like, do you think that Sonny needs that because it makes him a better player, or do you think that the team needs that because if they see Sonny wearing the armband, it makes them better players? Like, how much did, like, I don't, the only reason I ask is because I think the captain's armband is sometimes, it's very symbolic. And so, but you could have a good reason. Like, I'm just curious where your head is at for that.
Well, look, I'm going to get hate for this, but as much as I respected Carlos Vela, he was not the greatest captain. And I think the reason I want Sonny to get the captain's armband, a problem with LAFC and their short existence has been sometimes the players, the culture, it feels like sometimes players don't give a damn. And it's like, for the first time ever, Son has the potential to be the best captain LAFC has ever had. And he actually, I think the reason why I want him to have the armband is because just from tonight's game, his energy is going to make the players a lot better. It's not for Sonny. Sonny's just Sonny. But it's for the players, the surrounding environments, and it's happened a lot this season where the team has gone out and just shat the bed, laid an egg, and seemed like, what the fuck are you guys doing? You guys don't seem like you give a damn at all. And there are some games like, oh, we're having better energy today. But with, Sonny on the field, I think that's going to make, bring up the energy in the entire place. And I think he's just a natural fit for captain at this point. And going for, I don't know how many seasons going to be here, next 2-3 seasons. But otherwise, I guess I don't really have a sad foot. It's just, I just want to see how he was going to come off today. And I was deeply impressed. And I'm very happy for the future. I'm excited. It's just, now the mystery is, let's see how this season plays out and who's going to end up being manager.
Darren, you're muted.
Darren?
You're muted. Why would you mute yourself?
Oh, sorry. I muted myself because there was a plane. I live by the airport. There's a plane right above my house, and it was so loud. And I was just like, I can't do it. Sorry, everybody. So I think what you're saying makes sense. You're saying there's like a magnetism of like, if the players are looking to the captain, that will help. That will help everyone. if it's him.
I mean, I think it's a kind of a hot take, but from tonight's what I
The hot take was the Vela part, to be
Yeah.
fair.
what I've observed tonight, I think it's quite clear. Sonny is the general, and the general has arrived. He's the
Yep.
leader of this team. That's
I
I'm
would
going to
love
say
to see
boldly.
that. All right. Thank you for joining us, as always. I think there's a certain I get what he's saying completely. I think there's like a certain, like, the same way that it seemed pretty clear that Son was joining the team, but we had to like let formalities play out so that people could be properly respected in the process. I feel like that could be what ends up happening if it is to be that he ends up being captain. I think it's like there is a someone just said it in the comments. I thought I just saw in my peripheral vision. Yes, Mikey, the captain versus best player discussion has been a point of contention since 1903. Yeah,
That's
it's like
a big part
every
of it.
team's going to have their own thing that is like, on our team, this is why the person that is the captain is the captain. And there's always going to be some factor in there that is just like tenure with the team, stuff like that. And so there's got to be like a passing of the guard, so to speak, that would require a certain amount of time if that is what the plan is. It does seem like the captain's armband has bounced around a bunch this season, and I don't know that they care that much about it.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, I want to be clear. I wasn't trying to like challenge Daniel. I'm just curious, like, because you're right. Everyone sees the captain's armband a different way, and I think even teams do. I'll say this: we will never know. Like we can sit here and speculate. I don't know how LAFC views the captain's armband and for what use they have it. Like maybe it is the best player. Maybe they do think the guy rallies it. Maybe it's to raise the level of the guy. You put the armband on and you feel like a certain weight.
Gives him a little superpower.
But yeah, I'm just curious about it because a lot of people will say like, oh yeah, this guy just deserves it now. And I just wanted to get in the headspace of like, well, why do you think that? I don't think there's necessarily a wrong answer, but it is curious to me how people view the captain's armband and some of the things that they think about it.
Personally, I care a lot more about leadership qualities and not saying that that person then not backing it up on the pitch. But to me, it's more about the leadership qualities on the pitch, off as well. But like, I do understand what he's picking up on from Son. And if we continue to see that, I'll probably end up agreeing that like the person who is vocal and like helping the team play better because of the way they're acting outside of just their touches. I think that is a useful way to approach it, but who knows what LAFC is doing.
I'll say this in defense of Carlos Vela, and this is not me saying this. This came from Benny Feilhaber.
That's something you're right to say something out loud after that take.
Right. This came from Benny Feilhaber, who played on the team and said that Carlos Vela was not only the best designated player he ever played with, but the best captain he ever played with. And we asked him why, because again, we saw it from the outside, a guy that seems pretty quiet, doesn't like rah the team on the field. He said, because in that locker room, he was the absolute most talented player, best player, and at the same time, the most normal and humble. So like when guys were walking around, there was no like, I'm better than you. There was no treating players differently. He treated everyone from top to bottom the same way, acted the same way. He was humble. He said in the locker room he would accept mistakes when he made them. Now, we didn't get to see a lot of things, and I know that Carlos's entire career is about people not seeing things that they want from him. And I don't think he gives two shits about that. But behind the scenes, and again, this is what I'm talking about. Who's it for? And for the players in that room, when Carlos wore that armband, that's who they wanted to wear that armband because of who he was on and off the pitch. So I think there's a lot of ways to look at this. I can understand why people don't think Carlos is necessarily the right captain, because they have a model of a captain that is like, basically Roy Kent from Ted Lasso, like that guy. That's honestly, and obviously he's based off of Roy Keane, who is, a player in which was kind of this quintessential captain in English football, but that's not always how the teams work. I think as long as the team and the player wearing the captain armband get something out of it, it's really the best you can ask for. Because let's be honest, it's just an armband at the end of the day. You can have leaders all over the pitch. You can have people contributing.
The biggest thing you can achieve, this is going to contradict what I said the last thing I said a little bit, but like player dynamic, like social dynamic, is important, and if you can use it to affect that in a way that like gets the locker room right for the rest of the season, that's helpful. We have a caller who's been waiting. The heel of the foot.
I like how he just got into position. He was like laying back. He's ready to go. You guys can't see him off stage, but he's warm. He's ready.
We've kept you waiting, Jeff, and I'm not sorry about it. But it is time to bring you on. Heel of the foot, Jeff Talk. Welcome back to the show.
You know, Darren, it used to be only Travis that could get it up to really go after me. But I feel like after our discussion about Martinez, you really mean it now. You know what I mean? Those words have a little bit of venom behind them as you spit them out.
There's a reason why I'm in the middle on this screen.
Listen, I've been trying my hardest for what is it, 3 seasons now? I'm just only good enough now. I've just been slow. I've just been slowly practicing.
Yeah, that's nice for me to hear because most people don't need a lot of practice to hate my guts, you know. So it's nice. So obviously, like we're all gonna remember where we were when he came in the game. Like I don't even have to say his name because he's that level of good. Like I think I've just been so burned. Like just for me personally, like I thought Griezmann was gonna be here. I believed that fully, and then it didn't happen, and it broke my heart, right? And so I was like, holding on to like, don't say anything until he's here. And then even when he's got the jersey on, I kind of don't believe it. You're still like, hey, man, he might pull an Achilles. He might kill his Achilles on the way to the parking lot. Like anything can happen. I'm not going to believe it till it's here. You know what I mean? And then, you know, we went through Giroud, and I remember being so excited for Giroud. And then he showed up, and he's a bum. And, I mean, this guy's just like, I was personally shocked at how fast he still was. You know what I mean? That's kind of what you think is like these older guys are going to have this great touch, but maybe can't like put him behind. Like
it's
like
funny when you have
Rooney,
those
right?
like very basic, like, oh wow, he's so fast. Oh, he's so tall. Oh wow.
His first run of the game behind the defense, you were like, oh yes,
100%. Yeah, and it's like again, it's. I'm very curious to see like what the attacking three looks like because are you going to play him as like that 10 kind of thing, like that false 9, whatever in the middle? Are you going to play Bwanga? Like. Part of me wants Martinez in the middle, and he can distribute because we all agree Martinez is the third best player on the team.
We can table that.
I guess. But my question to you, Vince, is we have a DP spot open. They say they're going after somebody. Obviously, you know stuff that you're not going to say on the air. But like, if you were,
I really don't know.
You
like actual
that. And then after something happens, you're like, well, I heard. No. You know. Listen, I'm not asking.
As of today, I will say as of today, I don't. But we might end up knowing something sooner than you guys.
Sure. Yeah, and we'll get some weird cryptic text. It doesn't matter. But what I'm saying is, if you had a position you'd want that third DP at, where would you put it? And I'll say, for me personally, I feel like
that's a great
these
question.
3 midfielders are not getting it done, and I think all of them have real upside, and all of them have things they do really well. But ultimately, Delgado can't distribute in the way that I'd like him to distribute. And like, I know that I should probably start with Igor Jesus can also not do that, but at least Igor Jesus is,
tough game for him.
Like murdering people in the ankles. But like, I've seen a lot of Delgado just missing people on those through balls. Like he's been really, and I've seen Bwanga go after him like 3 or 4 times really in his ear. And I don't think they're on the broadcast because, you know, it's when I'm at the stadium, but I think they're really frustrated with his inability to pass forward. And like, again, he's got a defensive mistake last game that cost us, et cetera, et cetera. Like, he's got a real downside. And Jesus is just a destroyer, right? I don't think he's going to learn how to pass. I think you're correct, Vince, that when there's somebody on his back, he kind of likes digging in a way that I'm like, I sort of respect because that's his whole thing. But I'm also like, hey, you could get the ball off your foot faster.
Yeah, get free. Let's go.
Yeah, but also sometimes he can't make the pass you want to make. And he certainly is not testing anybody from the outside. And so to me, like as much as I think each one of those guys has a place on the team, possibly, I can't tell you that any of those 3 is such a standout that I couldn't think they could be benched, nor do I think that collectively they are doing service to our guys who need them to make those passes. You know what I mean? Especially because we don't have a distributor as a center back. Keely's gone. Like Chanot is not going to play. Like the guys that we have, as good as they are, like they're not able to distribute out of the back. And so for me, I would think an 8. You know, like that's probably where I'd want to put the money. But also, I know that in MLS they don't like to pay those guys; they want to pay all attackers. But I'm curious to see what you think, Vince.
I mean, you can get an 8 that's like more attack heavy, right? You can get an 8-ish 10. You know, you can do that. I'm of 2 minds, but I think I'm leaning more towards a creative winger or a creative 9 because, and this is not my choice, but the choice they've already made. there are so many midfielders now, Jeff. Like, even if they do get a midfielder that's better, you're now sitting like Amaya's on the bench, Choinier's on the bench, one of Tillman or Delgado's on the bench. And you're like, and I'm not saying that that's the right reason to do that, but at this point, like, you have just a lot of dead weight in that position. So I think you can play with a midfield in which you say, like, look, we know you guys are limited, but can you work the ball to this creative player, this creative, like, I want, everybody still wants this. I just want another Vela back. No, I want another Vela style player that, like, everyone would complain that LAFC doesn't play with the 10. And that's because they didn't see some guy just waiting in the middle of the field for the ball. Vela played as a 10. He would start on the right wing, and then he would find spaces to get on the run, which basically made the defense move, as I said, kind of with where LAFC failed this game was like the merry-go-round starts. Once that player starts moving, other movement starts happening. And you imagine that if a guy is coming off the edge, looking across the field with both Son and Bawanga breaking from the other side of the field, and to your point, can play a forward pass with even just like a slightly above average level, there will be goals to be had there, right? Especially when we consider, like, that's what Nathan Ordaz did today. And, like, what if it's someone else? What if it's someone much better? You know what I mean? And I agree with you. Maybe it can be Martinez at times, but maybe Martinez is like, it's asking too much. We're asking him to jump too high of a level. I think he's still going to I think he's an incredibly talented player. I think he can get there, but maybe this year it's not it. So we bring in a guy that we know 100% game in and game out. His floor is so much higher than Martinez's. His ceiling may not be as high because he's older. Like, you're never going to sell him for the same amount, but man, he's got a high ceiling too. And so that's where I feel like you can keep that midfield. You can say, hey, you guys, your job, cover ground. Sideline to sideline, you cover ground, you back up these three, and then you get the ball and immediately get it back into the feet of one of those three, and then let them cook. And then one of you, whether it's a Tillman, a Delgado, Choinier, be a fourth crasher in the box. Pick up the scraps, help us out, get some bodies in the box. That's kind of where my mind is. Again, I'm not saying that that's exactly right. I could see, I still would maybe like to see LAFC play a 4-2-3-1 with like a 8-ish 10. You know, like I don't think you can get a total passenger 10. Although it is very nice to see Son pressing really hard. Hopefully Bawanga watches that and goes like, maybe I got to pick it up too. But I would like to see that. LAFC's done it just sparingly in weird moments in games. They used to do it a lot more actually in 2022, the year that they won the cup. Steve would take that midfield and he would often flip it because you had Cifuentes who could play a pass, who could dribble through guys, who could score. And sometimes he'd be flat in a three. Sometimes the three would be inverted where you have, Ilie at the base of the triangle. And sometimes he put Kellen and Ilie together because they were so smart at working in a two. And he just said, Cifuentes, you're a heat-seeking missile. Go out there, blow guys up, and either pass the ball off or score yourself. A player like that wouldn't mind seeing it, but they just haven't really played that 4-2-3-1. So it makes me think it's going to have to be a winger type. And that is probably where I'm leaning.
Yeah, but to me, I just feel like we have I think you can sell, not that anybody would like this, but you can sell any of those midfielders within the league for a bunch of GAM, right? And there's not a ceiling.
Possibly.
Like, I don't think you're going to sell Igor Jesus for the same amount you're going to be able to sell Martinez for, assuming they both hit their ceiling, right? Like, we now know what the other two guys are. Like, we know what Tillman is. We know what our other Chicano friend is.
You're trying to sell your boy?
I think Delgado and Tillman are the only two you can really sell, though, if you think about it. Because remember, Amaya's on
he's on
loan. So is Choinier. I don't think Jesus. Although teams might have a market, I don't see LAFC doing that because, to your point, like, I do think that they think they're going to move him on to Europe at some point, and it would kind of be punting way too early. So you're just looking at Tillman and Delgado. I think Tillman obviously has a much higher value. He's younger. I think they like Tillman. You know what I mean? And then Delgado's older. I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm just saying, like, I think it's tough. I think they're in a weird spot, and that's kind of what my answer was, right? Like, I was like, I think they've already made their bed midfield. So where can we?
But it's interesting you feel like that, but you don't feel like that about the wingers. Because to me, I feel like you have Ordaz and Martinez, and if we play how we're playing, one of those guys is going to be on the field with Son and Bawanga at all times. So to me, it would feel odd to take both those guys out of the rotation almost completely when it feels like those are our two big. Like, if you want to talk just GAM, all that, like Martinez and Ordaz, I think are going to be able to be sold for more than most of those guys in the midfield, right? Like Ordaz is
But
incredibly valuable. So to me, I'm like, why would you
But you're
sit
thinking
those guys down?
I think you're just thinking two different things. Like the player's value in that is a separate conversation, and I don't disagree with you there. But we're talking about a player that right now makes the team better, regardless of whose value goes down. Like I'm not worried about bringing in a midfielder because players' values goes down. I'm just like, there's so many midfielders. There's just literally so many of them. Not like their value is going to go down. And I think you're right. Ordaz and Martinez, I think, can be valuable pieces. Obviously, Martinez could go on to Europe and bring in like real money. I think Ordaz, a team would say like, oh, a young player that plays in this region, that is he works hard. He does a lot of the right things. He can grow with our team, and we can start him week in and week out. Yeah, there's some real value to that. But
we sold Danny Musovski for a bunch of money, man. Danny Musovski was a bum compared to Ordaz. Yeah.
Right. But who do you bring? Like I think you got to look in more like, who can I just bring in without thinking about who I can maximize their value? Like, who do I bring in right now that can help? Because I know Daniel came in here, was kind of like punting on the season. Why?
No,
dude. Like Son, Bawanga, like as we said, get into the playoffs with those guys. Like there's no one in the West that like absolutely terrifies me. You know what I mean? There's no Messi in the West. Like Mueller is joining Vancouver. Who knows what he'll be like? San Diego's still an expansion team. Seattle is Seattle. Like we should be going for it. So that's what I'm thinking. Like a player right now. And that I will say this, John saying, and I understand why he says this. Well, we could still get a U22 and go 2 DPs, 4 U22s. I don't love it because the risk reward on that. And yes, you're more on the one side where you're saying, well, value down the line. No, man, I want to win now. Get me a DP, get me, and maybe there. And look, I'll hedge my bets with this. Maybe there's not a 26 to 28-year-old or 26 to 32-year-old that's readily available that makes this team immediately better that you can actually get. But if you do, like if there's two choices and you're like, yeah, well, this guy's 32 and we won't have a lot of sell on, or this 20-year-old that maybe like he could also be good years down the line. I don't care. Win now. I don't care. Get me the guy that wins now.
I don't want Andre Orta. Like, not even if Andre Orta was terrible, but also I don't want a 19-year-old. I want somebody who's going to give something to us. Now, I guess just the question is, like, do you think that we're going to get DP for the rest of the season, a la Teo, who we just let walk? Or do you feel like we're going to get a guy that's going to be here for a minute? Because if you're going to get a guy that's going to be here for a minute, that's a different conversation than we just got to throw some great guy in here to play on the wing.
I would like him to be, but if they win the cup, who cares?
Oh yeah. Hey, listen, Christian Teo's my favorite, one of my favorite DPs of all time. Showed up, didn't do anything, missed a PK, but we got
even missed a penalty in the final and still.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, great stuff.
I think tonight, another thing tonight did underscore is like how long it's been since we've had not even 3, but 2 functional DPs playing at the same time. Like it's kind of crazy that we've been so deprived of that. And when you think about that in relation to everyone else in the league, where I don't know, not every team's great, but it's more normal to be like, Darren, we have 3 DP slots, let's use them. We have 3 guys who are really good. They're playing on the Now we're at 2, which is somehow an upgrade. Can you imagine 3?
But just say it, Darren. You're circling around it. I know we're all LAFC fans here, so we're not speaking to them. But if they're going to watch this after the fact, the rest of the league should feel bad for us. Like we have not had what we deserve.
We're the underdogs. Yeah.
And how dare they clown us at any given time? Like we've been playing with one hand behind our back. This just hasn't been fair for LAFC for a long time. And I would like if you could send us flowers or any kind of condolences in the comments. Just let us know what team you support and then say, hey, I'm sorry.
Yes.
Thank you.
If you have
I've seen what they charge for rent in Minneapolis. I deserve a good team. You know what I mean? I know this is an expensive place to live. This is a tough place to stay. You know what I mean? We deserve a better player.
But look, things are going to be better because we now have 2, and clearly things can still somehow be a lot better if we have 3. I also think like what you're talking about with the midfield is like the guys that are there. There's now this pile of midfielders represents that same attempt that just like hasn't worked out time and time again. Like that's what you ideally would have wanted, Vince, what you were talking about of like the 8-ish 10 player. Like it seems like when they got Tillman, they were like, maybe this is what this is. And when they got Delgado, they're like, maybe this is what this is. And it's like, okay, it's a lot of false starts. And now it's like, do you wait to see how Chouanier works out and Son works out and what the dynamic is there with all of the, like, this is a new look team, but if you wait, you're kind of fucked.
We only have 2 weeks. We only have 2 weeks till the transfer window ends, and then that's it. So we got to sign somebody in 2 weeks or nothing. And
I mean, Son took years to sign, so it's not like you're like, let's just like look at the Rolodex and see who we should call.
But the next guy doesn't have to be Son level. He can just be a regular guy.
I know, but it's like every guy takes more than a week to sign, mostly.
Just one asterisk on the 2 weeks, though. And not saying that this should be the way that they go. If a player is a free agent when the transfer window opened, we're talking about just transfer. So meaning you're paying a team to buy out the contract of another player. Free agents, I believe there's another window that's in September where you have to lock in your rosters. You could still sign a free agent. Again, not saying that should necessarily be LA, but I just want to throw that out there for fans that are wondering like kind of where the mechanisms work. There is a possibility of a free agent, although you're right, they shouldn't wait.
For all our new Korean fans, it's going to take you a year to understand how the league works. And
then they'll change the rules. And then they'll change the rules, so it won't matter.
I kind of know what TAM is. Not completely sure. I'll be honest with you. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's fair.
We were pretty fairly positive about the MLS, I would say, in our preview episode. If anyone new to this was watching, I think there's also apologies in order for what you're about to experience if you're coming from like being an EPL fan only to being an MLS fan now, just to keep following Son. Like this is going.
Come on,
things will make your head hurt in certain ways. No, I mean, like the way the league is administered is difficult to handle sometimes, and there's silver linings to it.
Like this is the thing. It's like if you go to like Argentina, like try to explain how the league works in Argentina. Like the Apertura, the Clausura, who gets relegated, and then sometimes nobody gets relegated. In Mexico, I still have a hard time with the Apertura, Clausura. There's also no relegation in there, even though everybody says, the worst thing about American soccer. Like every league has crazy stuff to it. Like it is, and I know Prem fans are going to be, you guys are all Anglophiles, you're going to drink your tea or whatever. But the idea that the season can be over before the season's over is kind of stupid. And you would never, ever do that if you were starting it from scratch. Playoffs are better. They just are. And like, I get it, it's tradition, whatever, but like, that's dumb. You know what I mean? But also like the idea that you can just have a billionaire oil sheik guy who's trying to sports wash his horrific war crimes could just buy your team and then can do whatever he wants and can spend an infinite amount of money before he gets in trouble. Like that stinks. Like, I'm not saying that we have a perfect system. We don't, but I'm saying let's not praise the beautiful premiership where the Qatari government can just buy a club and we all just have to pretend like that's normal and okay. I'll take my crappy American billionaires versus my state-sanctioned oil clubs who are trying to get their money out of the country.
What a choice.
Yeah.
Or set of options.
Man. Talk about a rock and a hard place there.
Yeah. We love it. I think we've covered it. Anything?
Yeah, I think you're supposed to hang up with me, Darren. That's how this thing goes. Is I say some crazy shit and then you guys hang up, and I keep trying to escate my crazy stuff, and it keeps not happening.
No,
so.
I mean, the problem is that
save
I
him
like
from
when
himself,
you get crazier, and I like don't want to save you. I want you on the chopping block. All right, thanks for joining us.
We got plenty of super chats.
You'll be back.
Yeah.
See you guys soon.
I'll see you next time. A lot of super chats to run through.
We do, yeah. Okay, thank you guys. Nut says, Vince, could you please explain what the fuck is the tactical point of that weird kickoff they've been using lately? Yes, everyone's stealing the Chelsea kickoff, right?
No, PSG did it first, and then
PSG. Yeah. It wasn't.
It's basically just to get down the field, get your team down the field, and set up your press and force
an American football play.
Yeah, it's to force the opponent. You're basically playing chicken with the opponent. You're like, do you want to play through us this early in the game and see if you might make a mistake, and we can capitalize it high up the field instead of us being the ones with the ball in which you can press us. Although kicking it out for a goal kick is weird. Usually a throw-in makes more sense because you have less control over that. It did seem like botch.
That's the
even
punt
Chicago,
nature of it. The football punt is like try to get it on the sideline before you get it into the end zone.
Because even Gutierrez hitting that one that like Hugo had to like, oh shit, that might go in the goal. I don't think he meant to do that. I think they wanted to kick it out of bounds.
Oh, right.
Out of touch in for a throw-in, not a goal.
Right. Yeah.
But there you go.
Thank you for the super chat. Ryan Olson, a sticker. He did have an earlier comment that said that I could associate with this. That said, please speculate wildly about why Boanga was benched.
It's not Boanga. It's a stand-in.
Do you remember that conspiracy theory about Andrew WK? That there were two people playing the role of Andrew WK? And then he like kind of admitted that it was true?
Right. Yeah, because he was like, partying's hard. And you were like, are you saying that?
Are you
can't do it?
admitting that this is true?
Yeah.
Or are you twisting a conspiracy theory into a marketing stunt? I can't tell. It seemed, I'll say that from like press conferences and stuff, it seems like it was like coach's decision that he wasn't ready to play, is how Trundle put it.
It was a very weird way to say it.
He's been tired lately.
Yeah, maybe he's been tired. Maybe he hasn't practiced well. We only know so much, guys, and they're only going to tell us.
He came in right at the half.
Yeah.
Like, it's not like they're like down on him.
Well, no, he did come in right in the half, and I think a lot of that was engineered. Like the changes were engineered. When you see him come in right at half, you see Son come in right at 60 minutes. Like the lineup that they had, like it seemed like they were like, look, we're gonna have Tillman up front because we are gonna bring in Boanga. That's gonna move because we want Schwanier to come out. That's gonna bring in Tillman. Like this seemed like this was all engineered ahead of time.
Yeah. I'm sorry, Ryan. We appreciate the super chat, but we're not the guys to speculate wildly. We can't muster it.
But people will. Go on X.
Yeah, just go on Twitter. Yeah, you'll find it. UB, thank you for the super chat. Vicente and Daddy Darren, are we back? Vicente, yes. We are back. We are back, UB. Thank you for the super chat. Here's Ryan. Oh, this was it. Thank you, Ryan. Yes, we've made an attempt. I'm sorry, Ryan, again. Thank you again for the super chat. William Lamb, thank you for the super chat. Good evening, LAFC fans of Happy Foot, Sad Foot. Promising 2-2 draw. Promising 2-2 draw. I don't know. That's an interesting phrase. Especially Son's debut play. Sending greetings traveling from Rhode Island.
Oh, beautiful.
All right, William. I've spent a lot of time in Rhode Island. My father's from Rhode Island.
I've been to the aquarium there. It's very nice.
It is nice.
It is pretty. You wouldn't expect in Rhode Island of all places they'd have an incredible aquarium, but they do.
They got lots of stuff. That's the mob, baby.
Like what? Roads, houses. What do they got?
That's what the mob is good for. Is good infrastructure.
That's true.
Not that that's happening anymore, but anyway,
that you know of.
That we know of. They either don't really do anything anymore or started figuring out how to hide it really well. Efrain Benitez, thank you for the super chat. First time I ever disagree with Talk. Wow.
That's on you, bro.
Yeah, that's on you.
You've been agreeing with him all this time?
Well, welcome to the world. You've woken up.
Yeah.
Thank you for the super chat, Efrain, as always. Other comments on it's already 100,000 times better than Sharub. Yeah.
Maybe 99,999, not 100.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, let's not go that far.
Yeah,
let's go close to it.
Be careful.
We haven't touched on this yet. Brian Martinez really needs to chill the fuck out. We saw his temper again this match, which
really can't touch a referee. Although I would also say, referee,
that was a very condescending move from the
don't
referee.
Reach out and touch him either. Like let's just have a rule: respect everyone's space.
Yeah, and I think that the main ref did diffuse that. Like it would have been really fucked up, I think, to give a card on that. So he was just like, let's just chill. And that was good. And yeah, I don't know. If it was someone who wasn't David Martinez, maybe I'd be like, that's fine. But with him, it's like, what? Don't do that again.
Yeah.
That's a thing you used to do. Yeah. All right. We've got another caller. If you're still there, 626 Matt, welcome to the show. You're on the air. Thank you for joining us. Any happy feet or sad feet?
Well,
the match?
First off, I like to say, dun dun na 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 na. Oh, Sonny, Sonny, dun na 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 na. Oh, Sonny, Sonny, dun dun na na na. Oh, Sonny, Sonny. We got to workshop the rest of that.
That was beautiful.
No, I think that's fine. That's all you need. It's got a hook.
I think you should keep going.
No.
Just loop it. We're good.
Second off, I know there's a lot of parents and a lot of, people in the chat that have children. And one of the questions they're always asked, and it's tough for them, is, who's their favorite? And I don't know how everyone else feels, but I know that I just found my favorite son. And if anyone says anything different, they're lying.
Okay.
Yes.
Gunny Mark?
I watch sports all
Yeah.
my life. I know. I watch sports all my life, and I go through, we get anxious, we get nervous, we dedicate a lot of time and effort into this, and we think, why do we do it? But then I saw Bawanga bucket it, top shelf, and Son comes over, and they're shoulder and shoulder, and I'm thinking, damn, new friends meeting old ones. That's what it's all about. And I know I'm taking up your time, and I apologize for taking up your time. You guys are trying to get out of here. I heard it. I heard you guys are trying to. But right now, you guys have. I'm sure you know this. I'm sure you know this. You guys have a lot of new fans that are listening, watching. They're in the chat. We see you guys, and the new ones. We love you. The bottom of my heart. Welcome to LAFC. And I want to know what you guys, what's your message to your new fans, to your new listeners, to the new LAFC? What's your message to them? And the second question, I'm going to hang up and listen. Second question is, are we back?
Oh, we're back. We're back. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for coming on. We touched on this in the preview episode, really. We are thrilled to have new fans, hopefully of LAFC, certainly of Son, joining us on the show just as fans. I think what we tried to impress upon them or anyone in the preview episode is that from our experience, and I hope from yours too, you'll find a very embracing fan base here that loves to put that sense of community into the fan base and into a good culture that certainly is different than other sports in America, certainly is different than other sports in LA, I believe. And I just think and hope that you will all find a fun place to call home being a fan of this team. It will be a roller coaster. I'm sure being a fan of Tottenham was a roller coaster as well. Ultimately, I just hope we do right by you and that you have a team that you can enjoy watching. I don't know. It's interesting that this is a worldwide situation. I don't know how many people have the ability to travel to catch a game at BMO. That is typically a big sort of like moment of radicalization for a lot of people. So our job has always been to try to make the experience of being a fan of this team as fun as possible. And that's what we'll continue to do. And to the extent that we can help with that, with any new fans, I am thrilled. As far as our show goes, we're always happy to take feedback and hear what your perspective is. That's why we do these post-game shows, because we want to hear what everyone thinks. We're not here to be like, this is the voice of the entire fandom. We're here to just platform whoever the fuck wants to call in and talk to us. Mm-hmm. We are publicly sharing a Zoom link, essentially.
Yeah, we only speak for ourselves.
Come join us on a show. Throw us mailbag stuff, throw us chats, throw us join us however you want to get in touch. We're here to not just dictate what we think the vibe should be, but to platform your vibes. Vince, what do you think?
We're, like I said, we only speak for ourselves. We don't speak for a whole fandom or a whole fan base. We can definitely be your jumping off point. We can help you get involved. And I do encourage you, if you have a chance to be at the stadium, go there, get involved. Everyone will embrace you. Get there early. It's such a great atmosphere inside, outside the stadium. And I think what a lot of new fans are wondering, because they love this player so much, he means a lot to them. And I 100% understand that. I'll say this. There's almost no better place for a player like Son to play than in Los Angeles, because when you are a star, they will treat you like a star. So we will take very good care of your hero and this player. Like, he will be loved. He will be showered with adulation every time he takes the field. When they read out his name on the starting 11, it will be one of the loudest shouts I don't want to say just in the stadium. I mean, in the entire area of Los Angeles. Like, it will be loud, and they will embrace him fully. So your guy is in a place where he is going to be very, very loved, and he's going to enjoy every moment of it, and we are going to enjoy watching him play. So I think this is going to be a great relationship between everyone, and I just hope that, some of the people along the way, like maybe you stay LAFC fans because of this. And if not, look, Son will be here. We'll all be along for the ride, and hopefully he raises some trophies, and then that'll be a moment we'll all have together. Yeah, that's about it. I mean, it's gonna be awesome. It's gonna be fun. I mean, if this is just the start,
really fun.
If this 30 minutes was just the start, yeah, we're back, baby. Like I can't wait. The vibes are high. The vibes are very high, and not only is he an incredible player, but incredible person. And I think that dovetails into my last thing. What you need to know about LAFC is we are the most attractive team in the history of Major League Soccer, and this is a revolving door of just good-looking dudes. And Heung-min Son,
that's true. We have very high standards.
Great smile, great dude. Like we just keep
the
churning
vibes
them
are
out,
important,
man.
and the vibes are good.
Yep. Our vibes are high.
I also want to say for those people who are following Son and they're saying like, I'm not just a Tottenham fan. I'm gonna maybe you're still a Tottenham fan as well, but
you can be a Tottenham fan.
I
So
hope
we don't
more
play each
people
other.
I hope more people are following Son over to his next team. I think that's really cool. Like, I hope that whoever is doing that is bringing as many people with you as possible. I think that's just like a really cool sentiment that you like that's your guy and you're going to follow him. And I wish there were more players like that inspire such fandom. We do have one more caller. Let's bring him on, and then we're going over time here. So
don't go too long, Joey. We've been already going an hour. You can't just show up.
Joey, welcome
garbage
to the show.
Time.
I know. I managed to drive home from Koreatown and get home in time to call into the
this is your garbage time goal here. Pad the stats, baby. Let's do it.
I just
tap it in.
I want to do a little Korean lesson.
Oh, great. Yeah, let's do it.
All right. 좋아요 means I like it. I don't know if that's the same word for the like button, but yeah, 좋아요. I like Son's performance, and I like your guys' stream as well. And 재밌어 means it was fun and funny, but it was also really fun. So it was a fun-ass match. And I don't know. My Korean's not great, but I know how to speak it better than I know how to understand it. So
it's better than ours.
That's great. Yeah.
Hey, and I told Danny as we were driving home, he had to keep his nips in his shirt. But good send on pronouncing his name, Vince. It was really right on.
Thank you.
We did it.
We're trying.
This is good.
I'll say this for all the new fans, we definitely would love to learn more and more like Korean, learn how to pronounce the names correctly. Like that is also one of the great things about Los Angeles. It is a multicultural place in which a lot of people are interested in a lot of different cultures and embrace it, and they want to learn. So don't be afraid to point out like, oh yeah, it's actually said like this, or it's actually this. Cause like, we'll take the notes. Like we're here to learn. We would rather learn than just continue to say something stupid and wrong.
I just remember one more for David Martinez, who I love. 사랑해, I love him, but also don't do that. 하지마, don't do it. Don't do that shit. 하지마.
All right, that's good to know.
Shit. All right.
Okay, take notes, everybody. Thank you, Joey.
Thank you, Joey.
Oh, I cut him off. He was probably saying goodbye in Korean?
Maybe.
I don't know. Yeah, he was saying goodbye in Korean.
He says yes.
Okay, great. I think we've done it here. We never mentioned the Hollings header. Let's just shout that out.
The Hollings header. Have we never said that before?
Yeah, I don't know. I tweeted it out and I was like, I can't believe we've never done this.
Wow.
Yeah, it's a Hollings header, baby.
Yeah, it was just right there.
I
Right
don't
there
know
the whole
he's
time.
had that many.
No, it's just only
he's usually picking up the trash with his feet.
Yeah, that's true. But he is tall. He should be better in the air, you'd think.
He's Hollings head.
Oh,
I'll stop. Also, it was more of his shoulder.
Between you and Matt, the last you guys, like we've ran out of puns.
We was a Hollings header. Okay. This was great. This was a great night. It felt like a night that we should have won, and it's weird. It feels very weird that we didn't and we tied. But we'll take it, and we are very much back, and I'm feeling it, and I'm very excited for what is to come. And that is all. I love you. Bye.
Bye.